Hello and welcome. This is Gbogbo Swagger and this is Swaggerslifestyle. How are you doing? Hope you're good. Today promises to be wonderful. We're going to have a wonderful discussion. But before we go straight, I would like our guests to please introduce themselves. Ladies first. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Taiwo. Okay, I think she's frozen.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, so Lucas, could you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Lucas Togan. I work as a system administrator at White Clear HR firm in Lagos. When I'm not thinking, I'm probably looking for debates and social issues to tackle. Funke is an old friend of mine, and Funke, thank you for having me on this. I hope it's as interesting as it will be.
Definitely, it's actually going to be interesting. So we have, okay, I think Taiwo is back. Hi, Taiwo. Could you unmute your mic, please?
Yes. Hi.
Okay. Please introduce yourself, please, Taiwo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taiwo Olawole, and I'm Nigerian. I'm married, right? Since we're speaking about finance and marriage today. I'm married, and it's going to be 5 years in August that I've been married. And
Wow.
I'm a diplomat, yes. I don't always forget to say that. And I am unapologetically Nigerian. That sums up my person. So nice to be here.
It's nice to
I'm
to
also
have you
an
here.
author.
Yes, I thought you were going to start with that, actually.
I shouldn't always forget. No. That's a side thing. So I shouldn't always forget to say that. I'm an author. I've authored a book titled A Walk in the Desert. So it's available everywhere, if I'm allowed to say that. You can get it on Amazon, at any bookstore in Nigeria, most bookstores in Nigeria. So Robin Hood, different bookstores. So yeah, that's just by the way. I think that's it about me. And I'm a mother of one.
You're welcome. It's actually good to have both of you here. So let's just go straight into the conversation. Okay, so we have, let me just quickly take people down line. We have Lord Lani. Hi, Swagger. Hi, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And we have Olakweju. We are live. Yes, we are live. Okay, so now there's this notion that men are wired to provide while women are wired to collect. What do you think about it?
Is that for me or that's for Lucas?
Well, since
he's
you're
the man, maybe he should speak.
Well,
first.
I think both of you. So I think maybe we are doing the ladies first. Maybe we are doing ladies first. So whoever wants to go first is fine.
Okay, so maybe I should go first.
Okay.
I don't know about men being wired to provide and women being wired to collect, right? That's what you said. I'm not sure about that. I think that's basically whatever wiring you have, it's basically from your upbringing. It's basically from the values you were raised with. For me, that's what I think. For a long time, before I got married to my husband, I was raised not to take anything from anybody, like a man especially, because I believed that, or my mom made me believe that if anybody gives you something, they want something from you. So for me, I was a very independent kind of person. So much so that I was, permit me to say, in a relationship for 4 years, and I didn't bother, I didn't collect anything from that relationship, or I was even given. So, I'm not sure it's okay or it's correct to say men are wired to that. man in that relationship did not even give. How about that? And I wasn't collecting. But it's just the way you're raised to, and it's a different ball game in marriage. Let me not go into that conversation yet. Maybe when we get there, we'll talk about that. But really, it's about how you've been raised or the values you have inculcated in you. Basically, that's the way it is for me, and what works for you. So I don't know about Lucas. Let me hear from you.
Okay. I didn't quite catch everything you said, but I think you're saying it's a culture thing. For me, I don't know about...
She said it's an upbringing thing, not culture. Upbringing, the way she was brought up not to collect things from the opposite sex, especially. So yeah, so upbringing, she said, not culture.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. At least you caught me.
Thank you.
Yes, I did. I heard you.
So the way you phrased it is interesting. I don't know about provide and collect, or I would, if you would permit, I'm with the notion that men are wired to provide. I wouldn't use the word collect for women, but I can't even think of a better word. So maybe we'll stick with collect.
Receive.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just collect is a little like, I don't know. It's a little, but whatever it is.
Derogatory?
Borderline. Okay,
so probably women are wired to receive.
So this is what I would say. If we were on the first date, for instance, and I came after you and I wanted to take you out, I would have put together a budget and then we'll go out and I'll sort out the dates and I'll take you back home. Sort of, I'm chasing, I do all of that. If a woman were to even sort of get over this constraint of asking a guy on a date, I'm not sure if it would be the same level of satisfaction if she would feel the same level of satisfaction sorting out everything and taking him back home. It might look like apples and oranges, but there's something that has always resonated in my head. When men provide, there is a feeling of accomplishment. There's a feeling of, I've done something. It feeds into something in guys. When women are taken care of, now there is there's no subservience in that word. Just take it as it is. When you're with a man or you're in a position where he can take charge, women feel the same satisfaction. So in that dynamics, I feel like women feel the same satisfaction being taken care of as men feel when they take care of. So I've come to the point where I don't think it's a cultural upbringing or, no, I think upbringing is part of it, but I don't think it's a cultural thing. So it's difficult to even tackle Taiwo's position because Taiwo is saying upbringing, and upbringing is a big deal. It's a big deal, but I'm going to go cultural. It's not a cultural thing that men have to provide. I think it's a physiological thing. I think it's an innate thing that a man goes and provides for that which he cares for. And women feel the same level. I'm generalizing now, but an average woman would feel as good as a man feels when she knows that this guy can take care of stuff. I think that's kind of where I would want to stand on this men provide and women collect. And in my submission, I don't think there's anything wrong with either, because it's more of how I am wired and how I think a woman is wired. I'm not a woman, but the average woman I've met in my life feels good being taken care of. I'm trying to be careful with the word so we don't tie it to finance and we don't tie it to money or gift or something. When a woman is taken care of, I think she feels good as much as when a man does the taking care of.
So I think I would like to say is a personality thing, because there are actually some women out there that feel when they feel good too when they could actually give their spouse gifts, monies, help even in supporting even with bills. So I would like to think that it is actually, in as much as we have the cultural thing where the man is the head of the house, he has to provide for his home, we still have females out there or wives out there that are wired to give to support their husbands too. So I think it's not really cast in stone. That's what I think. And then we have people sending their comments. So let's take the comments and then we'll proceed. So Alakwejo says, ladies first. Yes, that's it, ladies first. Then she said, I think it depends on how the man and the lady is raised. And that is what Taiwo talked about, upbringing. We have Lord Lane, he said, exactly. Men are taught to provide. Women are taught to receive. Society. He put society in caps and with a lot of exclamation. So then we have Nife Fagom. Yay, Nifemi, welcome. He said, good day, everyone. It's good to have you here. House of Jamilia, hi, everyone. So Nifemi is saying kind of. We have Michael Boboroku. He said, yes, sir. The man is the material and service provider. The woman, okay, the man is the material and service provider. The woman is the collector. So this is from his own angle. But I think it doesn't really, it depends on upbringing. That's what I think. So we have Olakweju said, yes, I agree. A woman would feel safer with a man who is trying what they can in order to be able to take care of things. So if the woman sees, because a woman is wired to support her husband. So it is not about he's the man, bring the money, and then I will sit down. No, so it's, yes, please.
I don't quite agree with you, Funke, on the woman being wired to support her husband. I'm not
really?
sure I agree with you on that. Yes. Okay. It is, again, what society has taught us. So I'm going to agree with that person that has put it that it is what society has taught us to say that women receive and men provide. But again, I agree again with Lucas on the part where women feel good when they receive, actually, and men feel accomplished when they provide. There is no doubt in that. Because I mean, I stated that I was in a relationship where everything was fine, to be honest. But I'll be very honest again, in my marriage now, where my husband does a lot of provision, it is fine, right? I don't know if you understand me. It is nicer because I like the feeling of being gifted things or being like receiving. I like the feeling of receiving, like here, like Lucas rightly said. And I know that every time my husband provides, he feels a level of accomplishment. And I'm sure of that, and there's some happiness. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but that's why I get what you're saying with what he's saying. But then I wasn't raised that way. So, and now come to. So you, Lucas, you were saying.
Okay, Lucas.
So I'm going to ask Taiwo a question right after this. Your comment was support, help, assist. That's where the problem. That's where the problem. That's where not the problem. That's the key phrase. I have done 90%. He does 10%. That's where the issue is. So I'm with Taiwo when she says, or rather, I want to point something out what Taiwo just said. Taiwo was raised to be an independent woman.
Yes.
So if Taiwo was raised in a bubble, and where she is completely, if Taiwo is completely unaffected by a patriarchal society or any of this stuff. So Taiwo sort of just became 25, right? And she's independent, right? When she got into that relationship, like she just said, she still felt very good when she was gifted something. So it's not society. So even if her partner who's doing the gifting was raised in a bubble, when he does it, and I like the word that she chose, the guy feels accomplished and the lady feels good. So the thing about the finance thing is we are hardwired. The male is hardwired. It's probably hardwired into his ego or whatever makes him feel good. You understand? That when I provide and I secure, I feel good. This is before we are man of the house, head of the home. You understand? I feel good naturally. And when a woman is gifted stuff, be it money, diamond, something, whatever, when she receives, she feels good. And if you measure, I don't have the data, but if you measure this level of feeling good, I'll be hard pressed not to say it's one action. It goes from one person to the other, and they both feel good, sort of at the same level. So that's why I think that even though we're in this very woke age of we're fighting equality, relevance, inclusion, all of this, there are some fundamentals that I don't think we should tweak at that level. I think that's the position I want to stand on, where if I feel good about receiving gifts, I'm a woman. It's not a bad thing. It's what it is. If I feel good about spending money and gifting you stuff, and it makes me feel good, it's not necessarily a bad thing in itself. It's the aftermath of the act. You understand? It's the,
yes.
Because I was talking to, you want to say something?
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine, you know, knowing that this was going to happen. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said that, there's this girl he was seeing one time, and she took him out, took care of all the bills, and they got him and everything was fine. And I said, okay, was that the first date? He goes, no. Was that the second date? He said, no. That they had been going out for 3-4 months and they had gone out a lot. But that day she decided that I'm going to treat you. So I said, can you see where I'm going with this? It's not like she didn't feel good that one time in 100, but she's feeling good because it's one time in 100. Now, not all ladies are like that, I agree. However, you will more likely find ladies in that zone. Flip the script. First day to 10th day, the guy takes care of it. The guy is in love for whatever reason. The guy is in the relationship for whatever reason. He's paying the bills. So as long as he can afford it, he continues to pay the bills because it makes him feel good. Maybe it's his source of respect. Maybe it's the source of whatever. Do you get? But
I get you.
Itself, I don't think it's bad. It's what happens after that might be an issue.
Okay, so let me shock you. Now we have that some men feel good getting their bills paid.
True. That's true. Well,
Taiwo, what can you say about that? Hi, Taiwo. Are you there?
She's okay. She's here.
I didn't catch the question. Did you say all men feel good getting their bills?
Some men feel good getting their bills paid.
You mean when they pay their bills by themselves?
No.
Right?
When their wife or their spouse actually pays their bills.
That's a difficult one because I know for a fact a lot of, not all men, some men, you're right. It would not be nice to say, but there are some men who don't really care. There are some who don't really care. But 90% of the men I know, at least 90% of the men I know, their ego would never allow them feel so good, like enjoy the goodness when women pay the bills. So yeah, but there are those women that really don't, those men that don't care, that are just there. But most men, they're not going to allow it. They have that ego problem.
Can I say something? Can I say something to that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so it is true. It is true that some men feel good having their bills paid, but there's a cost to it. So if you find a faithful guy, a committed guy in a relationship, having his bills paid, there's a trade-off. It's either some psychological trade-off where he cannot step up as a man. Do you understand? Secondly,
Okay.
then there's the other set where it is one babe that is paying the bills from this side while they are committed to another babe So they are taking the money from here.
From babe A, and they are giving it to.
So they are subservient to babe A, and they are lord to babe B. For every man.
Okay, so I didn't want to go that route.
Sorry. No, so
I didn't want to go that route.
No, but
I didn't want to go that route of being so honest, but I would say this. I told you I was in that relationship that I didn't really care about collecting. I was even giving. But it turned out that this person was even in another relationship, which, for all you know, might have been giving my money to somebody else.
To another.
Again,
Oh, wow.
Thank you. Thank
For all
you.
you know.
Thank you for sharing. That's
for all you know.
Taiwo, thank you for sharing that bit of.
By the way, this person is not a poor person in any way, but he wasn't just giving, and I was giving. So,
Taiwo, thank you for sharing that personal bit. Thank you for sharing that. The thing is, the reason why the conversation should be at the foundation is because if we live here, we should take some things away, right?
That's true.
You can't, if something naturally feels good to me, if something natural, I did not learn, for instance, how do I put this? We did not learn to eat. We just knew we had to eat,
natural.
And we eat. So it's natural, right? We learned how to bath. Bathing is not natural. We learned how to bath, but we did not learn to eat and all these natural functions, right? So it's the same thing. If taking care of, if my gender feels good, naturally taking care of stuff, and we sort of tweak the roles, I would have to compensate for the tweaking, for the modification. I have to compensate for it. So if I don't get my ego, so I'm dating Taiwo, and maybe Taiwo is at par, or Taiwo is above me. So Taiwo is handing down. I might play the game here. You understand? But I need to go for the ego, because the ego has to be fed. That part of me has to be fed. So I'm going to go the Oga somewhere else. Now, for the guys who are faithful, either through religion or personal ethics, personal principles, you would find that it's not the same bravado. So I've met a couple of guys. I've met a couple of older couples who are 20, 25 years. Once you see that there is a power dynamic, once you see it's not balanced, you would most likely find that he is extra violent or extra gentle, or there's always some compensation. There's always some imbalance, right? And that's where you now find that the lady has to do extra in communication, in tone manipulation, because in spite of himself, he has to compensate for the missing,
for his deficiency.
Yeah, well, deficiency is what it is. Deficiency, yeah, you could say that. But for the show, he has to compensate, because life is about balance, right? Life is about balance. I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, but then again, but sorry to cut you, but then again, what I really think is, first of all, it's about understanding. If you guys understand, like if both parties understand each other, and I don't know if I'm supposed to go into this detail yet, but it's about understanding, like one part knows their responsibility and is doing everything to do their responsibility. However, the other party might just be there doing what they have to do as well. But in spending or in finance, I think it is about understanding. Because even for the man who provides all the time, I'm not sure it is always smooth in provision. It's not 100% of the time always smooth. Sometimes it is blue, and sometimes the woman may be the one providing at some point. And again, I say it is about both parties understanding themselves. That's when, I mean, if for any reason my husband is not providing, right? I will probably know why he's not doing that, and I would understand. But if he's not providing and we get to have a discussion about it, and there's no understanding from me, there will be a problem. No understanding for, I don't know why he's not able to. Has he done all that is possible to provide? Then there'll be problems. That's when his ego will begin to be bruised because I will be uncomfortable. I'm not going to give him all that respect. I don't know how to put it, but there will be problems if you don't. But if I understand why he's not providing or he's not able to provide at the time, I think I would do everything, like you said, to ensure that his ego is not bruised. I don't know if you get me. So I just wanted to chip in the fact that understanding is a very important aspect in the matter.
Okay, so let's take comments because we have a lot of people sharing their thoughts here. So let's take some comments and then we'll go back. So we have Nifemi. She says we split bills here, men, and it is no big deal. Men can't do it all. So Nifemi says, but surely he still provides for other stuffs without needing us to split bills. So we have Michael. He says the truth is that the man puts in the woman is what he gets. The truth is that what the man puts in the woman is what he gets in return, many folds. Even if she can provide her financial needs, most women feel good when their man provides for them. So we have Bankole Olu Kayode. Welcome to the show. He's saying, thumbs up, ECHS products. Okay, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Nifemi says, I even feel great to partake in our financial obligations. So Nifemi is a lady. That's why the Bible regards us as helpmeets. House of Jamila, it is innate for the man to provide and protect. It's psychological. Michael says, I agree. Michael says, like I said, the man will reap the dividend of taking care of his woman. You mean those men who run from their responsibility? So maybe when we're talking about men that love to, men that loves their bills get paid. So we have 100-fold business. Oh, welcome to the show. Nice topic. What works for David might not work for Daniel. Stick to what works for you. So that is where Taiwo said understanding between partners is key. So Michael says this is what you call retransmission of data. So Lord Lani says, let's not go that route. Let's focus. Oh, okay. Olakweju said we should be careful when we talk about bills. It is not necessarily about who pays the bills, husband or wife. The household income should be used to pay the household bills. So she's now saying that every family should have household bills, and that household bill is what we use to take care of the household. So we are coming to that. So Film Corp Studios, we are back again. Thank you for coming. Michael says I agree. He says he agrees with Peju's concept about having a household bill. So it's not about who pays the bill, but when you have like a budget and all of that, you work towards it. So Michael says financial matters may have a general template. Man provides, however, the couple must plan and agree on their finances because it can be delicate, in quotes, explosive. So what can we say about some of the comments that has been raised?
I want to speak to the helpmate. Someone said something about that's why.
Yes, about women being wired to be helpmates. So, yes.
Over the past, I have two kids. I have a 10-year-old and a 3-year-old. So 4 years ago, not 4 years ago, but 3.5 years ago, when I found out that it was going to be a girl, it sort of upturned my world because I kind of really didn't want a girl. not for any sexist reason. No, no, no. Hold on. Not for any sexist reason. It's because I'm a very deliberate guy, and raising a girl was I was afraid of it. Like, it was going to confuse the hell out of me. Being a guy, it was easy to just take what I know and make it small and pour it into a boy. You understand? So raising a girl scared the hell out of me. Like, how much am I going to learn in order to first understand year by year? And I wanted to learn enough so that when my wife talks to me, I'm not relating from logic. I'm understanding all of the unspoken stuff. So when I learned it was a girl, I was like, what? Now I have a girl, right? And this is one of the fears I have. I want to raise an independent girl who doesn't think marriage is a goal or an achievement, but who also understands that marriage is important. I'm confused how to draw that line. How can I raise an assertive girl who is not a turn-off? So do you get where my confusion is when I heard
Yes.
So now, when you say helpmate, she's supposed to support, it scares me that those terms and those words are those things that are reinforcing women not flying as high as they can. Because no, I'm going somewhere.
You're right.
If there's a dogma that she has been told from beginning that you are the helpmate, what you're saying is, what you're drilling into my daughter's head is, she is going to subconsciously always find someone she is smaller than in one way or another. So when she's trying to become, no, it's psychological when you say the woman is helpmate. I'm trying to remove dogma now. What we need to say is, she is first human, she is a partner. Do you understand? Now, nobody is going to blame her for her physiological build or feeling good for receiving. But it should come from more, is he even worthy of giving me? Do you understand? So when you say helpmate support, when you say women as, someone said, no, I think it was Taiwo that was explaining. So anyway, during the course of what you're saying, someone said something about it's not going to be easy for the guy all the time. Sometimes the woman steps in. I'm looking at a situation where even stepping, I have a problem with stepping. And this is the problem. In a home where the guy earns, so let's take Taiwo, for instance. Taiwo and I start a relationship. I qualify as a reasonable guy in her books, and she wants to take me seriously. But my income is $10,000. And Taiwo, by the time we met, Taiwo is doing $70,000. There's already a huge gap, right?
Yes.
What bill is going to come into that household that my support, where's my support coming from? I don't know if you get where I'm going.
So is it not possible to put your bill along with what the husband earns?
Why? He's doing 70K. Why are we bringing the family bill to 10,000? The family income is 80,000, right? The family income is 80,000 because Taiwo is.
I was actually going to get to that. The case of his money is our money, her money is her money. So we're going to get to that. So that's why I just chipped that in.
Come to that. Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Can I respond to you, Lucas? So I'll give a personal example again because I like to give personal examples. I think they're practical. Like someone said, what works for me may not work for another person.
Yes.
So, but this is me. So I remember when I met my husband, right? By the way, I used to date a doctor who was in Harvard at the time. Yes, who was in Harvard at the time. So anyway, that's by the way. So I met my husband. When I met my husband, in my mind, I had sized him up and sized up his income, right? And I'm like, hell, I'm a diplomat. I'm certainly going to be earning more than him, right? With all that I could see, right? But, so I work for Nigeria as a civil servant. All that did not come to my mind clearly at that time, that I'm a bloody civil servant. I saw myself as a diplomat at the time. So I'm telling myself I'll be earning more than him, blah, blah, blah. And it didn't take long before I realized that my salary as a civil servant was nothing. And I needed him. Like, he was a business person, so I needed him so much. But there are times when, that's the honest truth, I'm telling you now, when my salary can be so higher than he is. And there are times when my salary is like, it's not even 1%, let me just say 5% of what he earns. And so there are those times. But if I stayed on looking at things from the perspective that I would be richer than him, or I am richer than him in my own thinking, I think I would have been stupid. And that's again where understanding comes in. So in the times when we have so much money, we budget under so much money. And in the times when we don't have that much money, we budget under little that we have. And again, I say that's where understanding comes in, because I'm not going to make him feel like what I'm earning is more than what he is earning, because there's been a whole lot of times where he's the one that has sustained the house. And my money is nothing, like peanuts. A whole lot of times. So when I am there feeling like a big person, I am reminded that this is the person that is sustaining the house. So I immediately dump that in the trash. Like I dump that thinking, like it's not allowed. So again, yes, please.
Let me ask you a question. So part of what you're saying is there were times when he stood up, he was upstanding, there are dips, you sort it out. So there's a balance at the end of the day. That's essentially what you're saying, right?
No, not
that's not what she's saying.
No. That's not what I'm saying, no. At all. You're not getting it. There's no time that has been me. I was just talking about his salary and my salary. For instance, the example you gave, maybe at the time we met, it was 70,000, right? And his was like, I looked at his like 10,000. I don't know if you're getting me. But as an independent fellow that I am, I don't need anything in quote, right? That I thought I was. And he was doing his best to meet all of my needs. I try not to have any inconveniences around it. But we moved on, right? Things continued. And I realized that my 70,000 was actually peanuts compared to what he had or what he was actually earning. Because my needs grew more than the 70,000 I was
earning. You were earning.
Do you understand it? My needs.
Lucas, do you understand what she's saying?
And without me asking, he has been able to always provide for us. I don't know if you get it, but I automatically have to be humble. There's no humble.
Oh, yeah. So Taiwo, I don't think you and I are even we're not far from
far apart. No, we're not.
No, we're not. Maybe shades apart, but definitely not far apart. So here's where I'm going, right? When you say understanding, and you said it a couple of times, and I agree with you, communication is key in most of these things, right? But you see, again, if we go back to the physiology of provision and reception, some things you cannot logically explain, some things you will not understand. If the relationship starts at Taiwo 70 and Lucas 10, if that's where it starts, there are a lot of dynamics. And if we enter a marriage with Taiwo 100, Lucas 20, there's a lot of things that, even the communication that we are trying to achieve, we would have to be, the statistics would be 1 to God knows how many, if we can pull through. We would have to be like super honest, super sincere. We must be like dead in love with each other for us to be able to go through
Can
that.
I bring it? Can I touch you, please? Sir, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Okay, so everything you have just said, last thing you have said is like the most important thing for me in any relationship. Like, and so I totally relate with you on what you have said. And for me, that is what has worked for me.
Yeah.
I took notes on something. I took notes, and it says transparency is one of the most important, like these are non-negotiable things for me. Transparency, accountability, honesty, like budgets, full disclosure. For me, they're non-negotiable. And in our finances, I will be hurt, like really, really hurt, if I find out anything different. And like I said, we'll be 5 years next month, right? Mm-hmm. And this has worked. I'm grateful to God. And I pray that it continues to work. And I'm making it the same again. It works for me. It may not be the same for any other person. We've been able to be very honest with each other, accountable, transparent enough. And finances is really not a problem at all. Like, I don't know how to put it, but yes, again, I agree with you on that point. So
okay, so can I ask a question now? So are we saying that before people actually step into marriage, as it were, they should declare their finances to each other so that the issue of accountability will start earlier and they could actually have like a very wonderful, finance even in their marriage?
So if I can respond to that just before Taiwo. When Taiwo was saying that these are her non-negotiables, and this is a term I learned in the last year. I've been married 10 years. And these non-negotiables, I just learned it in the last 10 years, that for anybody who's going to get married, like proper marriage in societal context, you have to get to the table, whether you use a counselor or whatever. Non-negotiables have to be put on the table. So I was going to ask Taiwo, well, it's not really asked Taiwo. While Taiwo is very clear about her non-negotiables, for her to have married who she married, she must have insisted on what his non-negotiables were. And those things must have aligned, and here they are going to 5 years, right? And it's fine. Taiwo is one of the lucky people who had it clear, who insisted on clarity, who was lucky to have someone, not lucky, who waited until they had someone who did not find clarity as an alien concept, and then did what she wanted to do. It's not like that for a lot of people. And this is why answering your question.
So we must be practical.
Yes. Answering your question about before you go into marriage or a serious committed phase, should we declare our assets or whatever? I won't answer from there. I think the main thing is I can declare my assets. I can doctor my assets. I can doctor my declaration. You understand?
That's true.
I can doctor my declaration. You understand? The point is the man comfortable talking about all of his assets? Is the lady comfortable talking about all of the assets? And let me paint a serious picture, a default picture. Again, I go back to the 70-30, $10,000, $70,000. With that kind of disparity, you cannot live in the house the man can afford. With that kind of disparity, the children cannot go to the school the man can afford.
That's
With
true.
that kind of disparity, you cannot buy the cars the man can afford. Do you understand? And for every time, look.
And this is where the problem is. Sorry to cut you again. Why does he have to be the man? Why does he have to be what the man can afford?
I'm with you, Taiwo, 100%. I'm going somewhere with it. I'm going somewhere with it.
Okay.
Like I said, you.
Okay. This is interesting.
Yeah, the reason why I keep mentioning the man is because of where we are coming from.
Okay.
He feels good providing. You understand? There's a shot of accomplishment when he provides. The woman does not get a shot of accomplishment when she provides. We need to be honest about our natural state. That's why in couples that have fights, when some couples have fights and the woman is about to get vulgar, she will say, even though I paid, it's me that is paying the rent, it's me that is paying school fees. You will never hear a man in a fight say, it's me that is paying school fees, it's me that is paying rent. You most likely hear him say, after the Gucci bag I bought you, after your trip to Dubai, after we change your car. So the thing is, even when we are upset, it is our natural state. And I'm talking about people who don't, in relationships where respect is not at the top of the agenda. I'm talking about average relationship. So the thing is, when a woman is upset and she's about to go vulgar, she's going to say those things that she did not want to do naturally, but she's doing. So when you find a cheating spouse and the woman is upset, she's going to say, even though I pay rent, the car he's driving is me, the school fees is me, he's still carrying girls up and down. But when the man is taking care of everything and is cheating, it's a different type of kidney. But where I'm going, Taiwo, so that we don't digress, where I'm going is this. It will take a special union, a special depth of connection for the guy who's doing 10,000 at the time to live in complete psychological harmony with a woman who is doing 70K. Because if you live in Lagos, for instance, let's even take Abuja. You understand? Let's take Abuja. Let's take earning as a civil servant. Maybe the husband is grade 8 and is doing, I don't know how much they pay now, maybe 1.5 million or 1 million. And the woman is grade 12 and she's doing 6 million or whatever. They can't live on the outskirts of Abuja where he can afford the rent. The woman can afford main town. Do you understand? The woman can afford to be in main town. So the man now, and also don't let's discount the family influences that he has to fend off while trying to stay in his relationship, where people would get, okay, how is it that you are on this level and you guys are in Wuse or Asokoro? So she pays for rent in Wuse or Asokoro. He gets there. He's understanding, everything is fine. He's driving a brand new car. Family income, the woman, and sincerely, women don't even mind doing this thing when the man is trustworthy and they understand that he's a committed fellow. Women can collect the salary and give it to the guy. Run the home. Do you understand? But the truth is, he doesn't get that shot. He can unlearn that feeling and become a responsible guy. Yes, but how many men can even undergo that process of unlearning and becoming responsible and committed? Do you understand? Now, you want to do school fees. He can afford 100,000 naira school fees. But your salary says we can do better. And these are our children. We can do 500K and it won't shake us. If a reasonable man would have to move to 500K. And again, please, let's focus on the fact that every time I provide and I secure, I feel good. I'm not talking society, I'm not talking anything. I'm saying how I feel when I worked, I got the money as a guy and I brought it home. I don't know. And also, I would like you to be honest, when a woman, even though she's doing her thing, knows that this guy is hustling out there, he has gotten it, he has come home and he has provided for us. I am on the premise of how you feel deep within, that place where you can't communicate it. You just know that, yes, like that. I don't know if you get where I'm going. So I think it's very
Can I stop you there 1 second? Sorry. Would you? All right. So at this point, sometimes I'm not going to say our feelings will not matter. Feelings are important because if we don't even take care of our feelings, it may lead to depression and then friction in the family. Sometimes, or a lot of times, reasoning is very important. And we have to trash feelings. Like we have to throw away feelings. Because, for instance, you mentioned I want to be as practical as possible, right? As really practical as possible. You mentioned someone who is maybe a civil servant who is level 8 and then married to, or wants to get married to someone who is a level 12. Now, let's reason it together. If you know that you love this person, well, that's feeling. But let's say we are working, we love this person. And you know that, we all have aspirations for good life. If we're going to be honest and practical, everybody wants to enjoy the good life. It is our aim and purpose at the end of the day to have money, enough money to be able to do good things. So somebody is in your life as a partner and is able to provide this. But then you want to bring your ego inside the matter, not to be able to, not to want to enjoy it. Because I think it's ego, unnecessary feeling that can be dealt with. Because what I wanted to really talk about is, imagine being in Abuja and what your salary is at a level 8 can only have you live in maybe Kefi or Maraba, and somebody has tangible amount of money that can get you guys a house in Kubwa or even in town in Lucy, and you think because of feeling of fulfillment, you're not going to take it. First of all, let's not mislead ourselves. Or let me add another thing. Because you're earning 100,000 and another person is earning 800,000, because of feeling again, you say that your son or your daughter is not going to go to a good school. You would rather send the child to a public school, because I'm not condemning any public school, by the way, but you send to just any house school. But then you can afford to send that child to a good school where the life of that child will turn around and your entire generations to come will thank you for that decision you made. But no, you have to respect him. You are thinking about let's reason it in that manner. Sometimes we have to trash the feelings. We have to think about more practical things and not let feelings get in our way. Because, who cares? Whose business? Who lives in your house with you? Like I said, it may not always go that way. It may not always be lows. There will be highs. So if you trash ego now and just, start it, tomorrow it will be your turn to be the rich man. Like, it will be your turn. And a lot of things we don't always understand. That culture has made us, taking for granted. Culture has made us take these things for granted. It's the fact that if you reason well, if you come and live in that, if you come and live with the people who are rich, permit me, you would be able to do business with people who are rich, who will probably make you richer. But if you go and stay in Maraba, what you would have to do is do business with people who are in Maraba, and they will not help your future. I'm just trying to be practical. Like, let's think about it in this direction.
Okay, so while we're thinking about it, let's quickly take some comments. So Lord Lani says, oh, he's laughing and he says, I totally agree, Lucas. Olakweji says, why bring the woman down? Funke, I beg. Oh, no, I was just using it for example, not like I'm bringing the woman down. So she says, Olakweji also says, there must be total transparency, even before I say I do. So yeah, everybody needs to bring it out. This is it, this is it, this is it. And she says, yes, 100% you must know what you are getting into before going into the marriage. Olai Guntolu Lokpe, you are welcome. She said, ego indeed. She said, Madam, you are saying the truth, I swear. Taiwo, you are saying the truth. Say clapping for you, Jare. Okay, now I want to, while we are still thinking about that discussion, I want to ask a question. Now, I'm going to use your analogy, Lucas, where the man is earning 10,000 naira or probably $10,000, and the woman is earning $17,000, and the woman decides that I am not dropping a dime from my money in this house. How do you handle that?
Well, I do.
Yes, because there are some women that they run their home on the premise that the husband is the provider. So he provides in this house. And then if they are saying things, maybe school fees is not being paid and all of that, they can't be bothered because it's their money. He is supposed to provide. How then do you tackle that?
So I'm earning 10,000. See, in this life, I've spent a lot of time de-dogmatizing myself. Here's the thing. For me, and there are some things that I've repeated over the years with my wife. So there was one time we were discussing rent. Okay, so this is personal, and I'll share it. In the 10 years that we've been together, she's paid rent twice. And yeah, she's paid rent twice. And she has told me that I'm owing her those 2 years because it's my job to pay rent. Now, this is not her mindset, right? But it's what she said. And even in the marriage, I've also made statements that are traditional, but are not true.
Okay.
This is my argument against that. I said, just because I'm a guy doesn't mean I have to pay rent. The reason why I should pay rent is because in this partnership today, I'm earning more than you are earning. That's why I should pay rent. Now, naturally as a guy, so for someone like me, I understand what is traditional in my principles, and I also understand the things that I have to learn. I can be rigid on certain things. For instance, I'll share this with you. I think it's my duty to pay 3 bills every year: pay the rent, pay school fees, and leave upkeep money. I pay the rent 100%. I want to pay the rent 100%. I want to pay school fees 100%. And as long as I can do upkeep above 50%, I'm fine. That's me. You understand? At the same time, and I do these 3 things because it makes me feel good, personally. At the same time, I also understand that today I'm earning 10 million. My wife could be earning 1 million today, but while she's earning that 1 million, she could be writing a book. And in 3, 4, 5 years, she would release that book and come home with 1 billion naira. Suddenly, my 10 million is now upkeep, is now ice cream money. I live in that present reality. Yes. So even like Taiwo has said again and again, there are highs and lows. But me, I like to break the whole glass. It's like a J.K. Rowling story. At 47, she wrote, Harry Potter gets published, her husband is blown out of the water. Do you understand? So I need to prepare for that time when, look, and I need to also have these conversations with my partner or my wife that, look, the bills today are being paid because I earn more than you do. Tomorrow, when it changes, we're not having the conversation. No. As we are moving to Ikoyi, on your 100 million, 200 million. Don't be angry that you will be paying the bills. It's the same formula, quietly. My ego is not even coming to play at all. And then we'll move the children from the school in Lekki. We are moving them straight to England. Because now, the family can afford it. So when you say that the woman is not dropping any money, this is where I'm going with that. I'm not going to argue with my wife or my partner if she doesn't want to spend any of that 70. And again, caveat, a couple of things I'm about to say might be easier said than done. But off the top of my head, as you ask this question, this is it. If for someone like me who already arrogates some cardinal bills to himself, I'm going to plan inside $10,000 is 5 million naira. So our family standard is going to be at 5 million naira. And for me, that I know maths and finance well, it means that our family living standard is around 2.5 million because we are going to save and there's emergency money and all of. So we are crashing it down to 2.5. And with 2.5, we are getting a house under 1 million, school fees for 2 children under 500,000, upkeep for the whole year under 500. Imagine. So when I put all that in place, since I'm the one that's supposed to do the job, you are moving to Marabao, and the school is around Kefi, and the car is separate. Now the problem starts. The problem starts when you come home with a Gucci bag that is 1 million naira, and you say you cannot stay in a 4-flat compound, that you are too big for. That's where problem starts. You get? That's where
I get you.
Yes, you cannot leave our family income in my hands at 5 million, and then you no longer have the right to complain about we are not going to Dubai. Because I would also bring in a couple of cars. Since you said I'm the man, which is a dogma position to take, we are not using your money to fly to Dubai. I'm sorry, I'm not going. We are not going to use your money to fly to Dubai. I'm not going. We are going to stay inside that 10,000 for as long as, on the day I go to 15,000, we are going there. If you now decide that you want to gift the family with a giant building, we are not moving there. We are going to do the giant building. You will rent it out, put everything in trust fund for the children, come back to Maraba until my salary goes to 20,000. As my salary is growing, that's how our lifestyle will be growing. All that extra money you have, just be passing everything to trust fund for.
Are we saying this because she has said that she's not going to provide any money?
She's not going to provide. No, yes, that since she's saying since we want to live within the means of the husband, so be it.
That's what I will do. I know that
there's no room for repentance. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no! If she comes back to the table and says, "Okay, you know what? I might."
Because I mean, if she builds a house and says that, "Okay, I built a house, now let's move there."
He said, "No moving there, no moving there. Go and rent it out."
No,
that's very rigid.
No, hold on. The problem with moving to a.
What if what she was saving? What if that was what she was saving money for?
Taiwo, you said it earlier.
But she should have told her husband.
We need to communicate. Taiwo, you said
communicate.
So
absolutely.
If she moves to Asokoro, if she builds a house, 70 million is 35 million a year. If she saves 4 years, we'll buy a house in Asokoro. The problem with the house in Asokoro is $10,000 cannot run the maintenance.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
So I'm not moving. And to show
because she still has to continue to support her.
So the reason why I'm saying this is I'm very clear about a couple of things. The processes are not usually my problem. It is that once you have messed up certain things, you now come to the end of the tunnel and say,
you sound like a very rigid man.
No. If she comes back to the table and goes, you know what, these things are clear. If you want to form,
let's love lead now.
Wait, if she comes back and says,
there's room for repentance.
If she comes to the table to discuss repentance, the door is not closed. But there will be terms and conditions. If you want me to form a man of the house, Oga, rent is on your head. Where do I get more than I have $10,000. Am I going to steal the extra money to move to Asobi?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's not even a fight. It's just that she needs, and you know what? Sincerely, I've learned so much being married all these years. I've learned so much that there are so many things I'll do differently the first 5 years. One of it is the best way to fight is to show. So if she comes and says,
how do you mean it's to show?
So
to show results.
Show results. Like in this case where maybe she was upset and she says, it's your money, you are the man of the house, pay the rent, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, that is a basis for fighting a lot of relationships, right? You agree. And it will be
finances actually.
It could be all of that. But instead of fighting, you go, oh, there's no problem with that. 5 million. This is the breakdown. Of all this, housing is 800,000. Let's go and find house. And we go through our and the agents tell us, is it 800 you have? These are the options. I will drag her into the car. No malice. We'll go and find 800K house. Now, inside the same money, we need to buy car, right? We cannot afford car of more than 1.2 million. But that's even capital expense. So I have to even break that down over 3 or 4 years. We have to, but at the end of the day, the problem starts if she realizes that it's a mistake and she doesn't come back. And instead of coming back, she now nags, she complains at home. That's where the problem is. Otherwise, 10,000 can feed a normal family. I don't know if you get where I'm going. That's
so
how.
Can I come in here? I just want to respond.
Tawo, let's hear your thoughts. Then we would actually pick comments too. Yeah. Okay. Over to you.
So responding to your thoughts and your comments. First of all, to Funke's comments, I strongly believe that if a lady ever says that your 10,000, I'm not going to contribute anything, it's your responsibility. I mean, she should be able to live by the means of the husband. It is not, there's no negotiation to that. You can't, but then there would now be problems. First of all, marriage is a very complex institution. You have to understand a lot of things. You have to, communication is key. You have to talk about everything and understand. It's not just talking about it, understanding each other, being on the same page. Maybe not necessarily being on the same page, but being able to make excuse for the other person. That is what I mean understanding. Like understand why the next person is not on your page and being make excuse for them. However, just point out on this particularly is mainly the fact that in finances in marriage, I think flexibility is really key. However, for me, like I stated earlier, transparency, accountability, budget. Budget is like the most important thing in all of it. Like, what is our income? What is our expenditure? We don't buy anyhow. Like, if you're buying anyhow, where are you seeing the money from? Or what, like, we have to understand how we're doing it. Are you taking from miscellaneous or where, what, how? But however, flexibility, like I said, is important. If we haven't sorted rent, if we've not sorted school fees or car insurance, if we've not done any of that, and okay, I'm usually guilty in this. I would take myself as an example. I like hairs and shoes. I really like them. So imagine that we've not sorted rent or we've not sorted any of this, and there's this lady on my Instagram flashing sales of hair, like flashing it, and the thing is entering my eyes. It would be ridiculous to say that I want to buy the hair, even if I have the money for it.
The money.
It won't make any sense if school fees is pending, or we don't know how next year's rent is going to be paid. Even as we're in July, we don't have the facility for next year's rent. It would be ridiculous for me to say that I want to buy hair or I want to buy another pair of shoes. But accept those things that are very, 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 very important. I think it's okay to be flexible sometimes in finance, because that's for me, that's the way you can live in peace with one another.
Okay, so let's quickly take comments. So okay, so Olakweju says which kind thing be that? That's not partnership. So the question that we raised, she's saying so that's not partnership. So Olagun Tolulope, biblically, a man should provide for his wife and children, but Nigerian economy has turned things upside down. If you don't support your husband these days, the children will suffer. Which is true. Okay, nice to have you here. She said, Olakweju says, tables can turn anytime. Tolakwe says, if your husband is rich, thank God for your life. But if he is not, a woman will definitely support him. Oga, ego, legon. So Olakweju says, why didn't she tell her husband? No transparency. Why did they not agree on what to use the money for? That is when you spoke about probably maybe she goes to build a house and all of that. Tolakwe says, sir, what if she bought the building in your name? Won't you move too? Over to you, Lucas.
Over the years, over the years, I know that people misunderstand my position. The problem is not that she bought the house. The problem is that she said the family must live within $10,000. When you buy a house in Asoko, the reason why I'm not moving is not because of you, it's not ego. It's because that house will wreck the 10,000 naira budget. So when you buy the house in my name, thank you very much. I still cannot move because the fundamentals are still the same. But if you come and say, babe, I bought the house, so going forward, $35,000 will be added to the 10,000. We now have 45,000. Again, you know what? All this sounds academic. It's not as easy as I'm saying it. Of course, this was cost a lot, right? But here's the thing. If you've ever truly, honestly been in love with someone, all you ever think about is akin to what Taiwo said. You will make excuses for them.
Yeah.
You will trust them. You would want them to succeed. Your entire life is written on the slate of their existence. So
that's true.
We can discuss all of this academically, and I can make comments in very academic ways, right? But at the end of the day, is what Taiwo had said in the beginning. If the non-negotiables are on the table, because I always tell people, marriage is not about falling in love, because falling in love can happen to you when you least expect. It can even happen to you while you're married to somebody else, right? You see this marriage thing, the best solution is that partner, just look for his nuisance or her nuisance. Bring it to the table. Ask yourself, can I live with this thing?
Can I work with it?
Can I work with it?
Once the answer is yes, that I can live with this person's rubbish, every other thing is a plus. You see, going to look for all those good attributes, God-fearing man, all those things, they are rubbish. This guy, when he sleeps at night, he snores. I like that he snores. It's music to my ears. Marry him. Once his nonsense is what you don't mind, he is a good candidate or she's a good candidate. It is when you now end up with someone whose rubbish is unacceptable, it's a non-negotiable for you. Wala don't start. So those marriages exist because that's when you would have all these 70K. When you're in love with someone, the person is your party, the person is your lifeblood. How much is earning is irrelevant because she already knows that since she's the one earning the money, it's a no-brainer that we are going to Asoko. You understand? But it is not the money that is the problem. The foundation is strong. So
Yes.
whatever type of building we are building, whether it's glass house, paper house, mud house, as long as the foundation is rock solid, build any type of building. Do you understand? So the problem is at the beginning, assuming we're talking marriages. But also, the reason why at the beginning I was saying those triggers about when a man provides, it feels good. When a woman provides, when a woman receives, she feels good. Don't let's fool ourselves. We're here on a program. We're supposed to, to the best of our ability, say the right things, break some tables, but say the right thing, say the contextual right thing. There are more marriages who are suffering what we are discussing. So when a woman knows that there is a trigger in the man's head when he feels like he has provided, she would know how to handle a conversation around him receiving. So she could start the conversation from, babe, I know this isn't easy for you. Because she's coming from a place of understanding. You get? She can couch the conversation acknowledging how he feels and then drive it. It doesn't even mean she's subservient. She's just knowledgeable. Same thing with a guy. He's not going to be in that situation of receiving. Since he's not getting the natural dopamine, he's not going to be in that situation and be a nuisance to the wife who is trying. He too has to go and say, babe, I know you are trying. You understand? Because it's not what she wants to do. And when I'm using the word want, because I know a lot of women who want to do it, but she does not feel a natural rush when she provides. No, like Taiwo said, the rush that Taiwo feels when she buys a new hair is not the same as when she pays rent. It's not the same thing. When she buys a new shoe, it's not the same thing as when she pays school fees. It's not the same rush. Let's not lie. Do you understand? But
no, sorry to cut you again. I said it. I was in a relationship where I wasn't getting anything. I didn't care because I was raised to be independent and all that. But you see, when I met my husband, I then realized that I had been missing so much because goodness, it's an absolutely amazing thing when you receive as a woman. I thought I made that clear in the beginning. It's an amazing feeling when you have someone who fuels your car every Sunday for the week. That's just before you ask, does it? It's an amazing feeling, I have to say. I don't know how to put it, but this was all the things I was missing in the other. It took me receiving it before understanding that.
You.
Yes, come on, I'm not going to say it's not negotiable. I have a daughter. I'm raising her to be independent and all of that. But trust me, when a man does the provision for you as a woman, you'll feel like a queen. You feel pampered. You feel good. That's the truth. There's no argument in that. However, in this institution of marriage, it's like a company that we have to make it work. We have to make it innocent. We have to make things top notch. So we need to think like people, like directors of a company that are like directors of a bank that are trying to get it to the top floor. I don't know if you understand me. Or trying to sustain the bank on the top floor. So it's so important that we have to make it work. Our egos are not going to get in the way. Our problems are not going to get in the way. We have to make marriage is like making things work. That's the most important thing for me. And understanding is the basis of all of this. And if you're lucky to get that partner, that you guys have that understanding, it's an amazing thing.
So Olakweju says, yes, flexibility is key. And someone has said, do what works for your own family. Olakweju says, now so it is not the same rush. It is not the same rush you feel when you're paying rent and when you buy that head for yourself. Okay, so now my line producer has started dragging me that let us wrap up and sign off. But I have two things I need to talk about real quick that we could touch before we just call this a wrap. And let's go quick. One of the case where the woman is the one providing in the house and the man is not doing anything to even step up.
Again.
Okay.
Again, for me, you know who you marry. That's, as in, I don't know where the question or the argument is. You understand that you have to carry the trust. If you married a man who is laid back, who is not up and doing, who is not hustling, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, because, I mean, sometimes, let's take, for instance, a man was working in a bank and then they laid him off. He's been in the bank all his life, maybe 10 years, and then they lay him off 2 years after he got married or 3 years after he got married. And then the wife is working and doing well, and he's now laid back. What kind of thing is that? I don't know, but it's something we have to address. If we have to make this our something and co-partnership work, you have to get up and get working. I don't know how best to put it, but it is not acceptable that you're laid back as a man, because the woman or whoever the partner is begins to feel a burden at some point. If needs begin to increase and he is unable to meet it, or she is unable to meet it, there's going to be a problem. They begin to irritate each other, and there'll be problems. So as a man, you have to get up and solve the problem if you actually want the relationship to work. I'm not sure many women will mind. I don't know. I'm not sure many women will not mind. Because, like I said in my former relationship, I didn't mind, but I think it was the red flag I should have seen, or I should have known. I don't think
you're very correct. It's actually a red flag. Over to you, Lucas.
I'll say two things. The only part of Taiwo's position that I have not liked all night is that I don't think Taiwo has regular friends.
What does that even mean?
Well, this is what it means. Taiwo speaks like all her friends or all her associates are sensible people. Or are
oh yes, I think the truth is that you have to pick your friends.
No, it's not possible. No, I said possible. I said associates. So here's what I'm trying to say. So this Taiwo, you have to take into cognizance that a lot of marriages.
Not everybody is sensible.
I won't use that word again. But you have to take into consideration that a lot of marriages are not healthy. And they are not healthy because they did not start well.
Yeah.
You understand? Just in this last 1 hour, I can tell that you're a very deliberate person at this point in your life. And it's subject to how you were brought up, and this is where you are. I mean, you're still work in progress for the other things you want to do. But not a lot of people can even identify a flaw to work on. So a lot of marriages are defined by, it is time to marry. Someone has Rinsasiko has entered at the right time. And the wedding, not marriage, the wedding plans look too good for me to disappoint. You understand? I know people that found a cheating spouse on Wednesday and still went for engagement on Thursday and married on Saturday because the money that has been spent on Tuesday is too much for them to say they are not doing again. And I'm not talking without data. I can tell you calmly that it is an uncomfortable percentage of people in that space. So a lot of your arguments I can relate with. A lot of your arguments I can relate with. I'm a progressive guy. Funke can relate. A couple of our audiences can relate. But here's the thing. To Funke's
question.
What was that question?
The question where the woman is the one doing everything and the man would just not step up.
I wanted to make that comment for time. In order to come to that, you see, contrary to popular belief, it is not the money that the man brings per se that really stokes the woman. It is knowing that he is out there striving and there is now result from that strive. You understand? For a discerning woman, a woman who wants to build, it's not that the guy, because there are women that would have a red flag if the man changes his car 3 times a year. So it's not about the money. It's about, babe, what's going on? Like, I mean, we're praying for prosperity, but this thing is looking like it's fast too. Hope everything is, do you get? There are women that will ask that question. So when a woman is doing better than the man, like I said earlier, she's not getting a natural rush from taking care of the home. To compensate for that, the man has to strive at a level where when she's discussing with herself in her head that this rush is not coming, she would see that this guy left the bank, the following day he bought a car and he started Uber. She might not like that he used to be a bank executive and now he's driving Uber, but she will come to terms with he does not want to stay at home. Now that week, he comes back and says, wow, do you know that I met someone, I picked someone up today and we're having a conversation. Already, she's discounting the fact that this Uber is just a bridge to somewhere else. So he continued. Now, even after a year, if he gets a place that is not as good, she will continue to do what she has to do. That's why if a man comes and says, babe, I need 15 million, 20 million to run a business, a woman is not going to ask for your business plan. The first thing that will come in her head, if she's your committed partner, is, who can I talk to? Do you understand? Who can I talk to? So it is on the guy not to be a couch potato. Because that's when she goes, after everything I have done. Or you lost your job, you're a couch potato, and then she stumbles on your phone and you have 3 side chicks. Now she's confused. You don't have a job. You are not paying the bills. How exactly are you having 3 employees to pay? How do you have more people on your payroll and you don't have money? Do you get what drives her mad? So if you put in the effort and she sees that there's some traction, she can't go mad. So again, for guys, it's about the rush. I feel good. There's a rush when I provide for my family and I secure my family. There's a rush for my committed partner or my wife when she sees that her partner is doing this. It doesn't stop her from doing what she has to do in a healthy place, premised on what Taiwo has said all evening. The non-negotiables are sorted out, the communication is in sync, then all of these other things might not even pop up. And if they do, because we know that we are going in the same direction, conflict resolution will be easy.
Okay, so let's take comments. So Alakwejo says, a lot of strong ladies need to learn that it is okay to receive, like Taiwo experienced. Okay, because I'm actually learning a lot here. So word for me too. Alakwejo says, That one needs serious prayers. Tolakwa says, nice question. That is concerning the man that will just sit back while the woman does everything. Olakwaji says, and again, his soul might not be crushed and just needs something to wake up to regain the drive to succeed. So I think she's looking at it from the psychological angle. Tolakwa says, serious burden. Olakwaji says, So Tolakwa says, Risi Asiko indeed. And she has the smiley. And then she goes, thank you, sir. So Lucas, you're talking good. So now I have, we've actually said here how it is a wrong notion to say his money is our money and her money is her money. So that is a wrong notion. It is wrong, and that is not partnership. So it brings me to the question that I want to ask. What then should be the effective financial formula in marriage?
I don't know if I quite agree with you that his money is that her money is our money, but I feel like
okay, okay. So let's take that. Oh, but seriously, okay. So I think her money is our money. So you're saying
our money is our money. His money is our money.
So okay, so our money is her money, but it is sense in her that would make her do what is right in the house and not flaunt it and say that I want to buy hair when rent is not paid or when school fees is lingering. It doesn't make sense. So, but then again, I'm not going to say it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense, sincerely. But again, the ratio for me is not, there's no ratio, there's no formula. It is getting things done in the way that works. Because if we say we have a fixed formula, what if one person gets out of job, God forbid? Or what if the money is not coming as it should? I don't know if we understand what I'm saying, but I don't think that it is about getting the work done and knowing that one party is not offended. Understanding again. I don't know why this understanding is the key word for me tonight, but that's it for me. It is knowing that to get this work done, as a man, I feel good if I'm the one doing it. And as a woman, I feel good if I'm receiving. That's why that thing about her money is her money and his money is our money comes in. Because, I mean, if he's the one doing it, we are all happy. It's just psychological, isn't it? But if we see that he is not able to do it completely, you'll be a foolish woman, permit me to say, to be keeping your money and hiding it when you can contribute to make it work. Basically, that's it from me on that.
Lucas, over to you.
Taiwo is a very honest person, and it's refreshing. It's refreshing. It's refreshing to have such honesty. So there's one formula. It's not. I've realized that it looks good on paper. It even looks good when practiced, and it's easy. But there is no kick, and this is the formula. Whatever you earn, whatever I earn, we take 70% of it and we put it in an account. Whatever your salary is, we take 70%.
Oh, are you bringing the joint account thing? Because a lot of people are going to come with guns blazing.
No, hold on. Yeah, it's ultimately a joint account, but this is the formula. This is the formula. 70% of my income goes into the account. 70% of your income goes into the account. In that account, there is a threshold. Maybe, so let's say we both earn $500,000 each. So every month, 700K goes into the account. My partner doesn't need to tell me before she can spend 25,000. She doesn't need my permission. I don't need her permission to spend 25,000. So when we look at the statements, so the email on that account is mine and the text message is hers. So we both get alert. It's just for accountability, right? So when I see an alert that is 25K, I'm not going to ask her anything. If it crosses 25K, then we have to talk about it. Now, that formula works. 700K over the period of 1 year is about 8 million, 8.4 million. That money is there. And from that money, when the school fees, I can transfer the money to school fees. She can do the transfer, housekeep. We can just sort everything out from that account. Initially, I've kept 30%, plus I also have 25% to work with. Now, the problem with that formula that I have seen is this. For the guy, this is a committed Taiwo level relationship. What I found with that is the guy, being a logical guy, is very comfortable with that kind of arrangement. The woman is not. Because there are just some times that the shoe is obscenely expensive and she does not want to discuss the price. She just wants to get the shoe and look fantastic. The bag is obscenely expensive. She does not want to have the conversation why a bag should be 750K. And maybe her man's Mozu has not gotten to that point of understanding that a bag, I'm not understanding, 750K for one, no, they're not. So the formula works, but there's no kick. Only one person benefits from the rigidity and the efficiency. The woman is like, you know what, this month, I'm going to cheat this month, I don't think all that money is going to come in. You know what? And the truth is, you know what? The truth is.
That's why flexibility is important.
No, Taiwo, you're correct. We cannot buy bag if school fees is suffering. I get you. Where I'm going is for the guy. If you have that formula, you have to also understand that 3, 4, 5 times during that year, you can even write it in the contract. You know what, babe? This is the formula, but you are allowed to cheat 5 times a year. Do you understand? You have a maximum of 5 months a year to cheat, so that she can bring in all that. The day that she just wants to, excuse my language, is
and indulge. She wants to indulge.
So that, because women don't want to discuss a 400K hair. Do you understand? Because the price is like, the money is like, the school fees is 400,000, the hair is are you okay? But she doesn't want to have that conversation. She wants the hair. And God bless you. You that you don't know the price of the hair. She'll get the hair, come home, and you forget to say the hair is fine. Hair that you have no idea the price, the quality, the whatever. So I feel like if it's premised on communication and there's honesty, she will not be afraid to say that, you know what, babe, I can do 5 months in 1 year. That's all I can do. You see the other 7 months, just boju. You understand? And the guy too should be mature enough to know that she's a woman. There are things they don't want to discuss. Let it go. Work harder so that your share of the pie gets bigger, since you are the one looking for the rush. The woman is not looking for any rush. Go and get all the rush you want. That's it.
Great. So let's take comments. So we have Mstel Beauty. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. So she laughed. She had this long laugh. And the other question goes, ha, Taiwo. I'm sure when she says how her money is her money, she goes, ha, Taiwo. So it's supposed to be like a partnership thing. So Tolokme says, my money is my money, oh, Madam Funke. So these are women now coming out with it. Okay, so Stop Beauty says, for me as a woman, my money is my money and his money is our money. Women. Okay. So Tolokme says, if he is doing his duties. So Tolokme says, if he is doing his duties, it is our money. But if he is irresponsible, my money is my money. Oh. Tirano School says, oh, welcome. Thank you for joining us. It says, it is better to do everything moderately and in order. So I think maybe this comment is about spending monies on bags and shoes and probably finances as a whole. So I would like to say thank you for coming on the show. But before we go, I would like to thank everybody that tuned in and joined us on this wonderful conversation. We'll be back here Wednesday, 9 p.m. and we're talking about marriage, legal matters. So we're dealing with the legal aspect of marriage. It's going to be a wonderful discussion. So before we go, I would like to take your premise on this, Taiwo. For people that are having financial troubles in their marriage, what is your advice?
They have to communicate, first of all. Again, I'm back to it. They have to communicate, talk about it, and find a way to solve it. And sometimes financial troubles comes from dishonesty. Like if there's no full disclosure about what I am earning or what he's earning. So transparency is important. I'll just sum up everything I said from the beginning. It's what I believe can be the way to help. Transparency, accountability. Like if you spend 500,000 on something, you should be able to say that this, and this is what I spent it on. You should not come. Guys do this a lot. A lot of guys do it. Not my husband, because me, I like to ask questions. They like to use ego and pride to answer questions like, I used it. They don't want to be very honest about matters because they don't even feel like they should be answerable to you in the details of how they spend money. There are lots of guys who do that. And it would help if you are answerable in little details like that, because sometimes you would be on the need end. And if I feel like the other day you spent 500K, you didn't tell me what you did with it. Why now do you need common 300K or 200K? It does not make sense. So if I know, I would be more understanding as to why you cannot provide if there is a problem. So accountability, transparency, those are two key things. And budgeting, like I said, this for me are my non-negotiables. Like they're very important. Budgeting as far we know what we can afford. We know our limits. We won't go and rent a house in Asokoro if we have no plans for paying for rent for that house for at least the next 4 years. Because I believe that if we have plans for, at least for me, that's what I think. If we have plans for the next 4 years, how to pay the rent, then if by year 2, we see that something for the next 2 years after the 4-year elapses is not going to work, we start working towards how to either move out or make extra money. So that for me is why budget is important. Full disclosure, like I said, and most importantly, and this may be my final words if you're not going to come back to me, I feel like the God factor is very important in anything you do. The Spirit of God leading you is very important in anything you do, especially in marriage matters. Let God lead. And in finance with marriage, God, let him, direct you. It will help in financial problems. And so I submit.
Thank you for your submission. So before we take, Lucas, before we take your submission, Tirana School was still typing, and he says, when you are raising children, they are watching you. So when you have kids, whatever it is they are doing, even as regards finances and everything, your kids are actually watching. Then what's it called? Okay, so this will take when Lucas, go on with your submission, and then we'll take every other person's submission here. Over to you, Lucas.
Yeah, nice one. For most guys, I think that we need to understand that having a wife or a partner who doesn't talk to you about finance is not an ego booster. A partner who questions the finances, you have to elevate your mind to understand that your wife is your accountability partner when it comes to money. And you should share everything, because women have a way of multiplying things. And we need to understand, on this particular topic, we need to take our ego out. So if you're a guy and your partner or your wife is always quiet on the finances and you feel like you're macho for that, it's a bomb waiting to explode, because women will never give you a logical perspective to things, but they will tell you anyway that it's not going to work, and they will not be able to explain it. And you have to be discerning, which is where I agree with Taiwo on the God factor. You have to be discerning to know this thing. Finances in marriage is premised on, one, full disclosure, and women who have been shut down multiple times on finances, you can't give up. The truth is, the reason why you can't give up is we are not promised tomorrow. If you don't know today, you're going to struggle if the man checks out overnight. You're going to really struggle with how to sort things out. So it is a worthy fight that you understand the finances. At the very least, even if it's going to be dishonest, get some kind of picture. So there are a couple of things you can even do. First of all, does he have an insurance policy on his life? If he doesn't, fight him till he gets one and understand the details of that policy. Does he have some investment? Fight him until he understands that. What is his pay package like? And vice versa, right? But I feel like women are more forthcoming with their financial stuff than men. That's why I'm speaking more to men. Fight him on that level until you have even if it's a skeletal picture of what the family finance is. Because it's finance that makes all the other conversations go well. You understand? And then if you are better than your husband or your partner in financial matters, you might not want to throw it in his face, but there are ways to go about it until you sort of guide the conversation there. Because you need to protect, and if you guys plan to have kids or you have kids, those guys are going to grow and those bills are going to keep coming. And men, just like women will buy hair, some guys, I mean, you go to the club and the budget was 50K, and somehow Dorime enter your head and you are back home with 1.5 million. The family has spent 1.5 million because you want to hear Dorime. Because you know that, I mean, if you were married to someone like Taiwo and you know that if Taiwo does not ask on Saturday morning what happened, at the end of the month, you check the statement and the Dorime will still come. Once you know that I don't want Taiwo's wahala, your brain will reset. You get, so that's my position on it, that we need to be 100% accountable. And for men, a quiet spouse might just be a death sentence when it comes to finances.
I like that. A quiet spouse when it comes to finances might be a death sentence. So we should be open as much as possible to have this discussion. So we'll take the submission from some of the comments that are here. So Olakweju says, thank you so much, Taiwo, Lucas, and Funke. This was a really great discussion. Thank you so much for all your comments, Olakweju. Tirana School says, thank you, Lucas and Taiwo. Great discourse. It's good to summarize it all. Thanks, Funke, for moderating. Thank you so much, sir. Olabisi Osibo. Oh, welcome on the show. It's good to have you here. So she says, welcome, well done, guys. Fantastic discussion. Tolokma says, thanks, Mr. Lucas, Madam Taiwo, and Madam Funke. Thank you so much for being here. Olakweju says, know everything. Insurance, will, debt, portfolio, everything. So thank you so much for, this was a wonderful discussion. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And to everybody that tuned in and every other person that's going to watch this, this video, thank you so much for doing this. And if you've not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button, and also share this video to your network. A lot of people need to know about this to be able to help their finances in marriage. And also, if they're having troubles with their finances, all of this, our submission and discussion, can actually help them become stronger in their marriage. Thank you so very much. So till I come your way next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m., do not forget to stay true to yourself, be good to yourself, and also be transparent when it comes to your finances. This is Gbogbo Swagger, and this is Swagger's Lifestyle. Good night. Thank you. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Taiwo. Thank you so much. And to my mom, thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you. Thank you. And
thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, Funke, congratulations.